What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Aha, and I have a special treat this week, the first of three, which is to say, as we've been going through this remix live tandem every week, I've had it in mind at some point to go back to three, I believe, entirely instrumental demos from the era of Stay on These Roads, 1988, that I jumped over when we were going through the initial album catalog and doing some demos and remixes along the way, but for the most part we went through the albums proper. And as I said, there were three demos that I skipped over in that original chronology and that I've been waiting to circle back to at some point, and I've decided this is the week we're going to begin doing that. So this week we're going to do a demo and live tandem, and for the next couple weeks after this as well. So the first of these three demos, which I think are all entirely from Mags, at the very least I know this one is, which is I'll Never Find You in This Streetful City, which is interesting phrasing, like streetful. I don't quite know what to do with that adjective other than to view a more urban type street or type city with many streets and thoroughfares. And obviously, given this is an instrumental tune, I don't think we'll have any answers per se. But yes, I remember listening to these and thinking, you know what, this would be very cool. But I think, again, the idea was at the time we were going through the proper album tracks and then in some cases listening to demo versions of those album tracks, so getting a sense for the development of the tunes. But since these were unreleased, they weren't part of the actual album that came to be, we left them behind. So yes, I'm keen to hear this and to complete another mini chapter of the Aha story, again, this time from the late 80s. So let's hear it. This is a demo from Aha, and I believe specifically Mags, which is called I'll Never Find You in This Streetful City, which is, as I said, I believe from 1988. I'd love to hear that go longer. And I'm going to slightly alter what I said in advance, meaning this is obviously subjective. It is an instrumental tune, and my impression of the emotions or feeling of the track are, of course, my own. But I do get a sense of longing, and the phrase "I'll never find you" suggests that one might be searching or aware of the futility of searching for another person, and it is, addressed to the second person. So, yeah, I feel a bit of that forlorn sentiment of not being able to locate someone here. And the like echoed snare drum, it really has this like big volume echoed sound to it. And there were even a couple like synth chords in the back half of the track that had this kind of big space to them. And I feel like that maybe gives you the environment of this large city, which perhaps is part of why it feels so futile. Now, I don't know if any such thoughts would have been going in Mag's head, or whether it was just kind of a title of convenience for a tune that never fully came to be. But yeah, I feel a bit of the title in the Sonics, despite having said that I was unlikely to do so. So yeah, I very much enjoy that. Like, I have talked about, there's some Depeche Mode instrumentals from their like 80s and 90s period where there's a lot of atmosphere, and it feels like an electronic ambient tune, a Sybient tune, a couple decades before that genre would really become what it has since become. Now, I say that there were some early Sybient tracks in the 90s, but again, this is even before that. So in a way, I feel like Mags, with a composition like this, was a bit ahead of his time, and certainly doing something that one of my favorite bands, going back to my youth, Depeche Mode, has done on a few occasions. There's what is it? It's like Oberkorn. It's a small town, and that's a synth instrumental that they did early on, and which is, very atmospheric and a bit mystical. And I get that feeling here, though, again, with a twist of melancholy. So yeah, I very much enjoy that. There's 2 more of these, and so we'll do one next week and one the week after in tandem with the live tracks we're going through. I would like to thank Sofia, who not only provided these to me, a few years ago, I want to say it was like 23, but who also reminded me of them recently, saying that, when we go through the remixes, there's still those demos that you skipped over. So yeah, I've had it secretly in mind to go back to those, and we have arrived at that. Let me know what you think, and this little ragamuffin and I will see you for the live AHA reaction in a moment. Peace.